Woo! What a game! Sorry
to everyone who's got headphones.
Yeah, no, that was a game and a half. So hello and welcome to the Cricket Nerds podcast, where we talk about Lucknow Supergiants and Chennai Super Kings. First of all, I'm going to go to Zach. How are you doing, mate?
I am very well. I enjoyed that game a lot.
So did I. Benji, how are you doing, mate?
Just great. Just great. I've got a lot to say, surprisingly. Yeah, I'm surprised that at least that CSK game, Lucknow game, at least, made Zach recover from his COVID. That's at least one thing that came out of it.
It was such a good game that he's got over COVID because of it.
Yes. No, yeah. I'm still testing positive. There we go. Maybe not after this game. I tested before the game. Maybe now. Yeah, you never know.
Shall we talk about it then?
Absolutely. So I'll go to Zach first, actually, because I want to talk. In fact, no, I'll go to Benji first. This is your video, mate. I want to see you.
I was ready.
So let's start with the high points, which was CSK's batting innings. Talk us through it, Benj.
Yeah, so if you haven't caught the game yet, Lucknow won the toss, put Chennai into bat, and Chennai, actually in their 20 overs, racked up a pretty decent score of 210 for 7. Ruturaj Gaikwad again got out pretty cheaply, not as terribly as he did in the last game. I mean, this time he got run out. Unfortunately, it was a very good bit of fielding by Ravi Bishnoi to get him out. And then, the innings, everything all the batters just did what they needed to do. Robin Uthappa batted fantastically, scored a nice 50. Shivam Dube, out of nowhere, produces a sublime innings. I was one of his highest critics, but he's proved me wrong. Dhoni came out, was striking at a rate of above 250, looking fantastic, and Jadeja played some decent shots before miscuing one. I mean, it was looking like nothing could go wrong. Really, the only pick of the bowlers for Lucknow was Ravi Bishnoi. The rest of them got slapped all over the place, really. Chamira particularly had a pretty rubbish game. Also, a few fielding errors from him as well. So, yeah, all in all, from a CSK point of view, the batting was phenomenal. Shame that the same can't be said about Chennai's bowling.
And at that point, I'm going to go to Zach. Zach, can you break down Lucknow's batting innings and therefore Chennai's bowling?
Lucknow's batting innings was inevitable. That's how I describe it. You could just see it as it was going along. You think, yeah, they seem out of it. They're kind of, well, at the start, it was amazing, right? Like Quinton de Kock, Kara Hall, smashing it all over the place. And then Pretorius comes on to bowl. And I think he is a big hero for Chennai in this game because he's proven that they have a replacement for Deepak Chahar. He can swing the bat. He got a first ball duck today, but that's going to happen sometimes. But he's a replacement for Deepak Chahar. It might not be Indian, but that's fine. But then, so you're thinking, right, all right, look now, Supergiants, they're a bit behind. Manish Pandey, 5 runs off 6 balls. He's not doing anything. Yeah, but then you could just see when they only needed, they needed 67 runs off the last 5 overs. And you think, with Evan Lewis looking very good, Deepak Hooda in, and Ayush Badoni, who is proving to be the new and improved Dhoni, still to come. It's like, wow, and Krunal Pandya as well. He hadn't batted yet. So you think there is a chance that if they just have 1 or 2 big overs, it's going to seal the deal. And I thought Chennai, they just left it too late, really, to bring on Shivam Dube. They either needed to have bowled Moeen Ali an extra over and risk it, or Jadeja another over, so that it could have pace at the end, or bowl Shivam Dubé earlier. When he bowled well for Royal Challengers and he was very economical, it was during those middle overs. It was during that 6 to 14 sort of time, not at the death. Whenever we bowled him at the death, he went miles, and the same's happened today.
You could see that was orchestrated by the batters. So Cara Hall and Quinton de Kock were batting fantastically, and they really attacked the spinners. So Jadeja and Ali pretty much got hit out of the attack. They came on just after the power play finished, so overs 7, 8, and 9, and they really just got hit straight out of the attack. Now, actually, on reflection, had there been an over of 10 for Moeen, for example, that still would have been better in hindsight than Dubé's 25 that he went for. But, you're sort of dealt a rough hand when you're trying to find 4 overs for your 5th bowler, when your other 4 bowlers, with the exception of maybe DJ Bravo, aren't firing. I mean, Pretorius was good. Bravo was a bit expensive with his wickets, but it's when your openers, Chowdhury and Deshpande, that's really the issue, with the fact that Chennai are missing Deepak Chahar massively. They paid heavily for him for that bit of Indian talent, and those two just don't quite have it. Now, they both have fantastic domestic records. If you look at their stats and their averages, they average very low and they've got decent strike rates, but they're just definitely missing something there. James, what are your thoughts on sort of that hole in Chennai's bowling attack?
Yeah, I think it's definitely there. I think looking at the inexperienced nature of Chowdhury and Deshpande is really where you're struggling, because they started off brilliantly. I think the first couple of overs, Chowdhury looked like he was bowling absolute bombs. I was really, really impressed. And then as soon as you get put under the hammer, they squished. They quickly went from being predators to prey. And I think that's where just experience in a bowling attack really matters. I'm going to talk about heroes and villains. So we've already touched on Dwayne Pretorius being a huge hero. Other heroes include, I'd say, Dwayne Bravo, probably a bit of a hero there. I'd definitely say Evan Lewis and Ravi Bishnoi. I mean, my feelings about Ravi. Yes. I think he's absolutely class. Fielding and bowling, outstanding. But I say the biggest hero of the match was the Jew factor, because not only did the Jew factor, it's influenced so many games now over the last few years in the second innings. It's realized that it's so good, like that we all love the Jew factor so much. It's decided to extend itself to the first innings as well. So they were basically playing on a swimming pool from the first ball, and I loved it, because what's not to love than just see 210 not be defended. Absolutely outstanding. Villains, the inexperience of youth, and Manish Pandey. It didn't look good. I was someone that said, look, when Lucknow picked him up, I was like, he might do all right, because I kind of saw him as a talented guy that was just kind of oppressed in a Sunrisers regime that was putting too much reliance on their top order, so he had to play an anchor. I hope that I was right in my first assessment that Manish Pandey is actually a good player. He was just not in the right situation, but he didn't look good for his 6 balls. But how much can you tell from 6 balls?
Exactly. I do have one more thing to say just on that Chennai bowling attack. I realise we're being quite harsh on Chowdhury and Deshpande, and they are still very early on in their career, and it's the first time really they've been given responsibility in the IPL. Like normally in other teams, Deshpande's played a bit before for Delhi. I think this is the first time Chowdhury's been in the IPL, but there's time for them to, get in and find their feet in the IPL. And actually, Chowdhury was looking quite good in that first over, as you've said. It was just, he really bowled it in that last over. Like, the two first balls that he bowled were just horrendous. He just sort of chucked it into the pitch, and it was I think he was trying to bowl a bouncer, but it just didn't go well. So they've got some, work to do. But as we've seen previously, like Deepak Chahar was an unknown, and now he's going for 14 crore in an auction. So I think there's time for these guys. Just a shame that this is the time where they got smashed all over the place.
I think what you can see from both bowling attacks is when you look at the depth in the squad, Lucknow Supergiants, they still have Jason Holder to come. They still have Marcus Stoinis, who can bowl you a few economical overs at the start or throughout the middle. And they've just got a bit more depth there. They've got a bit more to play with. And when those players start coming in, when you start seeing Jason Holder instead of, say, Ty's a great bowler. He's done well in the IPL in the past, but he's not quite as good as Jason Holder. He's not got the hitting power of Jason Holder either. And then when you compare that with Chennai, they just don't have that depth. They really are lacking Deepak Chahar, and we'll say it throughout the tournament, I'm pretty sure. But I think they got good Indian batsmen. They do. We've seen it today. If Gaikwad comes back into form, that'll be a massive plus for them. And they're always going to play Moeen Ali. He's a great all-rounder. So I think they just then need to pick 3 overseas bowlers. Stick with Pretoria, stick with Bravo, and then another one, maybe that's the Shankar from Sri Lanka. That sounds quite nice. They've got Chris Jordan as well, don't they?
Adam Milne and Chris Jordan, I think.
I've got a feeling that Chris Jordan
really good. Say again.
Sorry, I was going to say I've got a feeling that I think the reason Chris Jordan didn't play is because he's unwell at the moment. I think that's something that went out, because I think otherwise he would have been quite a good addition, death bowler, and that's a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess that if you've got those 3 overseas bowlers, and then you throw in Moeen Ali, Ravindra Jadeja, and Shivam Dubey to fill in the others, and then you pick one Indian bowler, maybe it's Deshpande, maybe it's Chowdhury, then you've got less of a reliance on these young Indian players who are getting smacked all over the place and are lacking that experience. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Chennai have a very good background staff. They've got very good coaches, very experienced coaches. So there's no reason why these players can't do well, but it will be interesting to see what happens moving forward in the tournament.
Yeah, it was something that surprised me that Chennai only picked 3 overseas for this game, considering the lack of depth of their Indian talent. Possibly they are just trying out some different combinations. I mean, it is only the second game, so there's 11 games more for Chennai, and realistically they need to win 7 out of the 11 games that are remaining to go for playoffs. So yeah, personally I'd have played probably Adam Milne instead of one of the Indian opening bowlers. That might have just restored that balance a little bit in terms of adding some experience back to that bowling attack. But there you go. There is a good think tank there, isn't there? I mean, Stephen Fleming, Mike Hussey, there's a lot of people there who, know their stuff. So we'll see what happens with Chennai.
Absolutely.
And also, I keep pronouncing the Sri Lankan's name wrong. It's Theekshana, not Theeshanka.
Oh, I prefer it Theeshanka from Sri Lanka. Can we just keep it like that? Like, can he
Ranka from Sri Lanka?
Can he be the new Natanaranjan?
Yeah, there's always one, isn't there?
I'll talk about Natanaranjan.
So I think that's a really good place to end. So thank you very much for watching. Let us know your thoughts down below. What did you think? Obviously, it was a cracking game, but let's have, please, Benji's CSK posse, make yourselves known in the comments. We've got so many Punjab fans, which is obviously because they're the best franchise.
And Chennai play Punjab next. Like, Sunday is Chennai versus Punjab the next game. So, we're going to be 0 from 3 if the Punjab fans have their way.
Well, yes, we will have our way because we're going to win. We're going to win tomorrow with Punjab versus KKR, and everything's going to be great in life. But yeah, make yourselves known. What teams do you support? Don't forget to subscribe. Join TCN. Hit the bell icon. Get notified when we're posting videos. It's every day. Every day. Also, drop us a like and follow our social medias. We are at Cricket Nerds Pod. And also, you can find all our content on other streaming sites, such as Spotify, such as Apple Podcasts. My goodness, we are growing. I think we're up to like 120 subscribers now.
We also need to remind our dedicated fans who are also part of the Fantasy League that you need to do your transfers today.
Night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Night before the next game.
So when you hear it tomorrow morning, you have until 3 p.m. British Standard Time, which I believe is 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
8:30,
7:30.
7:30 Indian. So you have till 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Indian Standard Time to update your team. It has to be done tonight. Do you want to hear the roundup from week 1?
Oh, so much.
So the winner of week 1 was Dad's Barmy. He got very lucky because all his players that didn't play got substituted out. So he put up a very good score. He's in fact 13th in the whole game.
Woo!
So that's pretty. Is going to take some beating.
Can I do it?
Second is Keith. I appreciate the sound effect last time. And then Fine Legs is in 3rd place. So yeah, there's all to play for. You can't even see Keith's score because the name's too long. But there you go. That's the update on fantasy. Update
I do want to make a shout out though.
Oh, go on.
A shout out to number 11th place, who has just called their team Kings 11 Punjab.
Oh, what a beautiful! That's yes, way up there with the best names. I think my only one that I prefer to that is Travelled by Josmosis. I think that
that one's definitely up there.
It's absolute genius. But yeah, thanks to all of you guys. You're great, especially look who's watching. Another loyal fan. And if you're a loyal fan, you get a shout out because we appreciate you. So yeah, cheers guys. We'll see you next time.